When you study your Bible, there are several things about God that you're going to find out. One of the things you'll find out about God is the capacity of his sovereign will. For instance, this visitation that Abraham had was a visitation that was not occasioned by his prayers, his intercession. It was not something that Abraham stumbled upon because he was educated as to how to prosecute spiritual exercises. This was a mere act of the sovereignty of God. Abraham never prayed to God. Abraham never fasted to God. But suddenly God, by an act of his own sovereign will, decided to stretch forth his hand in his direction. You see, Abraham did not know who was speaking. There was this voice in his head. And that voice kept insisting that he gets out of his country. That voice kept insisting it was something that was deliberate. God was sponsoring a line of motion around the life of this man Abraham. Now, he was not the only man at that time. God had to bypass many people. He had to look away from many people in order for him to choose Abraham. Abraham was God's choice. Whereas before this time, there were great men that walked with God. Men like Enoch. Enoch so understood the alignment of the frame of the invisible realm that he eventually was not. But God never started any redemptive enterprise with Enoch, even though he was a great man. I've had men like Noah that walked with God. Noah found grace, found favor with God. And on the strength of that, God decided to begin a new beginning with the household of Noah. Noah was privileged to see a new era. Noah was privileged to be part of a new foundation, a new civilization, a new ecosystem that God was planting in the earth. These were mighty men, but God never began any redemptive project with any of these great guys that he had walked with before this time. These were people that sought his face. These were people that collided with him somehow, and he began to educate them. They were mighty in their time, but there was no redemptive program in view. And when God wanted to facilitate a program that had the potency of redemption, God decided to reach out to a land of historic unbelievers, people that have never gotten any wind of the Most High. Why didn't he start with Enoch? Enoch was so prophetic that the names he gave to his children were actually revelatory names that were indicative of what God wanted to do in the earth. Times and seasons and epochs. You could see that he had climbed in his spiritual journey with God to a point where God could decide, okay, since you have been faithful to me, I have a plan to undo what Adam did, and I want to cut a covenant with you. God did not look at Enoch. He didn't consider Noah. Abraham was in the context of darkness. And the Bible says that God spoke to him.